Which social media stock is the best one to buy? Pinterest stock or Snap stock? I'm going to answer that question in this video by comparing the two social media companies' most recent financial results. Also, I'm going to look at their longer term financial results, and then I'm going to compare them on valuation, and then I'm going to choose which one is my best stock to buy. So you're not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned and let's get started. So Pinterest in its most recent quarter saw its revenue increase by 5% to 603 million, but the loss per share on the bottom line worsened to 31 cents. But this included a $121 million restructuring charge as it laid off employees and re-signed some office agreements. Now, the big story, and this is going to be true with Pinterest and Snap, with these two social media companies, is the privacy policy changes that Apple implemented a couple of years ago in 2021. That's making it difficult for these companies to deliver targeted advertising. Of course, marketers prefer targeted advertising because it reduces waste. You don't show ads to people who are not likely to be customers. So marketers love that and they're willing to pay more. Now that the ability to do that has decreased, Pinterest and Snap are not able to get as much per advertisement when they sell it to marketers. So that's one big theme common among both Pinterest and Snap. Additionally, what's also common is that overall advertising spending decreased in the first quarter. In January, February, March, ad spending fell by 8% compared to the same time last year. So overall industry level spending is coming down also. So they've got that 1-2 negative punch that they're dealing with right now, and that's causing a significant slowdown on the top line for both of these companies. Pinterest managed it relatively well, growing revenue at 5%, despite the industry falling by 7 to 8% in the first quarter, depending on which estimate you look at. Now, let's look at Snap, which saw its revenue decrease by 7% to 989 million. Snap's revenue decrease was along the lines of the industry level decrease, right? They weren't able to outperform the industry the way Pinterest was able to. Snap's net loss on the bottom line improved to 329 million compared to a loss of 360 million the same time last year. That's impressive to improve your loss on the bottom line despite having your revenue decrease. This is following Snap's effort to cut costs. They removed some unprofitable divisions. They focused more on the core business and they made some layoffs. So they've done a good job bringing costs down. Their operating cash flow improved to 151 million. That was up from 127 million the same time last year. So despite the macroeconomic difficulties that they are dealing with, they relatively each of them did a good job weathering the storm. Now let's look longer term. Longer term, looking at quarterly revenue growth, the two have performed very similarly. Look at the chart here, how closely they follow in terms of revenue growth over the last several years. But most recently, Pinterest has done a better job controlling the decrease, right? Controlling the fall. Snap's revenue is falling more steeply compared to Pinterest. So kudos to Pinterest in that regard. Looking at the cash flow from operations to sales ratio, measuring how much of sales the company turns into cash flow from operations. Pinterest also has done a better job than Snap in this regard, with a CFO to sales of 15.5% compared to just 4.6% from Snap. Although Snap has increased this at a rate that was better than Pinterest longer term, overall the figure is better for Pinterest. Finally, looking at valuation, comparing how expensive these stocks are, measuring using the forward price to earnings ratio, Pinterest is significantly less expensive than Snap at a forward price to earnings of 22.8 compared to a forward price to earnings of 38.8 for Snap. So given all of those factors we just looked at and given more deeper analysis that I've conducted across these two social media companies over several years, if I was to pick one of these two stocks to buy now, I would pick Pinterest. Pinterest would be my pick for the best stock to buy between these two right now. All right, but that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.